Hey everybody, Pepe here with Pepe's Fruit Trees, Pepe's Plants, pepesplants.com. This is my Goji berry that I got from a good friend of mine, Gary, up in Central Florida. And it is the best thing in Goji for the South you've ever seen. This guy produces like crazy. Right now it's February 18th, and this Goji plant has been producing non-stop berries for me, flowering like crazy. You can see flowers there. Everywhere you look on here, you'll see green. You'll see green clusters. There's a bunch right there. Okay. Now, from the flowering to the fruit, it seems like it's taken about 45 to 60 days. That's what seems to be happening. Pollination, apparently, easy going, self-pollinating, not a big deal. Pests, yes, there is a little problem with pests. There's a tendency for whitefly that gets on the bottom of it. Right now it's not too bad, but we do have issues with the whitefly. I control it with the neem oil pretty good, and I also use some other organic things, you know, like garlic and things like that. But pretty much it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes during the summer, but for the most part it's not too difficult. As long as you're spraying it regularly with the neem, you can pretty much keep it under control pretty well. Let's see if we can. This is basically a bonsai. This is a simple bonsai pot, and I just put some good soil in there. And I stuck the vine, grabbed it, and pushed it down there. And I put a little clip down there to keep it in place. So the idea is just put it in a pot, place the pot in there, let it sit there. In about 2 or 3 weeks, this will be fully rooted. Then I can cut, snip here, snip there, and I have a brand new plant. So that's how you would vegetatively propagate the plant. So why do you do that? Because you don't want to grow this necessarily from seed and wait and see what happens. You want to have something that's going to produce rather quickly and of the exact same variety of everything that the mother plant does. It's a duplicate of its mother. Okay. Now this will show you down here one of my last ones that I did that way. It's growing very well. It has not decided to flower yet, but it will. And then it's doing really phenomenal. So you can see there's one of the Goji. This was actually in the larger pot, just like the one I showed you before. And what was happening was it was just growing in there. In about 2 weeks, boom, I cut. You can see I cut here, I cut. You can see I cut here, cut there, and all that actually this is all new growth. So it grew back pretty quick. So in here again, we'll take another look at this. We have more. You'll see more berries down here. You'll see flowers. You'll see flowers over here. Got flowers everywhere on this thing. So it's growing really quickly. It's doing really well. Here's a bunch. There's a bunch right there. You can see those on there. Okay. So I've been drying the seeds and experimenting and planting some seeds. Actually, I haven't planted the seeds yet, but I'm going to plant some of the seeds. Now, here's another problem: pest. Okay, this is a scale. Now, a scale can either be alive or dead. After you spray it, it'll be dead. Now this one's alive because I haven't sprayed this yet, but I'm gonna pull. Let me show you what it is. I don't think you'll be able to see. See a little brown little node right there? Okay, I'm gonna pull that little node off. I have him right here between my fingers, and I'm gonna squeeze him. He's alive. He's gonna be all gush. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but there's some nasty. There you go. He's alive, and what he's doing is he's sucking on the sap. Okay, so he's not good because he's going to hurt the plant. So right now, because the weather is going to be cold, I'm not going to spray this with anything. Normally, I would, like I said, I would use neem, but I'll wait a day or two, and then I'll spray it in the afternoon about this time when the weather's warmer and maybe in the 60s, 60-degree weather, above 55 for sure. And then I would mix my neem, and I would spray my plant, and my plant will be nice and clean of the scale for sure in no time. Maybe 2 applications, worst case scenario. But it's important, what I just showed you, to look for those. They actually are, let's just say, similar to, imagine if you're a guy who has boats or a gal who has boats, you know, you have barnacles on the bottom of your boat. Well, you can think of them as barnacles, and they just kind of sit there and hang on for dear life. Now, I know barnacles don't actually eat your boat, but scale does actually suck on the sap of your plant and cause all kinds of misery for your plant. So you want to watch out for scale. So I confess I have a little bit of scale on here, and any gardener that is afraid to show you the reality of what it is not really giving you the straight up. Nobody's perfect. You're never going to have perfect plants. You're always going to have challenges. It's part of what growing and understanding is all about. So I was happy to share that little bit of information with you, and I'll get rid of the scale. So next time you see the plant, it'll be much cleaner and much prettier looking too. I've given barely any at all fertilizer to this. No synthetic fertilizers at all. With this plant here, again, it's all research based. Our goal is to have a great plant that eventually can be sold for people in warmer climates that would like to grow Gojis. So don't order them because they're not ready yet. But if you have questions, I'll be happy to tell you more about the plant. It's a vine and it's loaded with very small thorns. So, I mean, I can get in there, I can work. You can see I can get my hands in here, I can grab it, and I can work inside here, and I can pick berries, and I can do all that. But there are thorns in there. They're not too terrible, but they're in there. This variety turned out to be a winner. So far, so good. And I have hardly done anything to this. I've purposely given it a lot of mistreatment, a lot of abuse. It's that abuse and that stress that causes them to produce, because stress is what creates the motivation for the plant to kick into fruit production. So it's doing well. It's in a partially shaded area, and eventually I'm going to take the smaller guy and I'm going to move him out to more full sun all day, direct sun, to see what happens in full sun. I think it will do well either way, in the partial shade or in the full sun.